come to the bold analysis. There are two options that Rigathi Gachagua have. And the kind of dilemma the son of Madeira is a dilemma that will not even wish for your worst enemy. The two options is to face impeachment procedure in parliament and go through the process, or resign and give William Ruto what he really wants. By 7 p.m. today, the deputy president is going to have it's going to have a press briefing with the country arguing on what exactly the DP is going to say. I'll be lying to you if I told you that I know what the deputy president is going to say. But in this podcast, we are going to look at the factors that has emerged from a crisis meeting with Mount Kenya think tanks, including even allies of the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, on Monday morning ahead of the Deputy President's press briefing in the Monday evening. Kindly subscribe to our channel. But before that, I'll want to remind us about this lady here, Juliet. So, and what's happening is Juliet passed and got B plane in secondary school. So she was supposed to join Murang'a University. But because of issues of financial issues back from home, she had not reported. She was supposed to have reported on 27th of August. But as we speak to you, today is 7th, she had not reported. So I brought her to Nairobi from home, that is in Suba, so that we can take her to school on Tuesday tomorrow. And we are running a very short fundraiser towards this that will go, because she's now reporting late, there are no hostels, will go into paying her rent outside the campus, buying other requirements, paying the 20,000 fee, depending on the band, looking at the band she's been put. And also, the other one that is needed is just money. And I've also been told she needs a laptop. Of course, at some point it might be needed. So the deficit I have to help achieve this as I talk to you is now around 44,000. And I'm reaching out to you on behalf of this girl that kindly participate in this challenge as little as what you can get, 100 bob and football challenge. And thank you very much for those who have responded to this call to help Juliet go to Murang'a University. So if you can reach out, I'll be glad to ensure that we achieve this and support this dream. And I'm also reaching out to us who are in diaspora, and if you're running a program that can support her through even after we take her there, I will be very glad. Thank you very much. Thank you for those who really responded. It's been urgent, and this is really, really, really urgent. If you can be able to do that, to achieve that target, I will be grateful. So kindly, kidogo ujeza kibaba. Now, towards the end of this video, I'm going to play for you her interview. She was here. She's actually still staying with her. So, but I'd interviewed her here. So I'm going to play that interview at the end of this video. So watch till the end. I told you the deputy president started early morning with the first meeting he met Harambee House staff. And of course, it was just encouraging them, not dropping a hint of what was going to happen, but it was just encouraging them to be strong and continue working. Even if whichever way his impeachment will go, that is what he told them. Whichever way his impeachment will go, they should stick to their work ethics and know that he will bounce back when the right time will be. And after that, for the last better part of the weekend, the deputy president have been meeting think tanks and advisors, including the former president Uhuru Kenyatta, ahead of what he's going to tell the country this Tuesday. And according to reports, on Sunday night, the deputy president held a crisis meeting with advisors from Mount Kenya, the political advisors and veteran politicians from the region, who really, I believe that it's part of the decision that it shall have made that is now telling the country. These are the 5 factors that can give you a hint, or rather that is giving Rigathi Gachagua a bearing on what he should do next. There's 5 factors, and I've put them in some chronological order. The first factor that will decide, that can give you a hint that Rigathi Gachagua will consider on table, or rather not the factor, but the things that have happened so far since this impeachment started, is attempts to forestall and attempt to get court injunction against the impeachment in the lower courts have all stalled. Out of the 19 cases that have been taken to court by different allies of the deputy president, they have all refused, until the last attempt was on this Monday, midday, have all refused to issue some injunction against this impeachment. There is only one prayer that was given, and it was given on Friday at Kerugoya High Court, where a judge ordered that the public participation should be done at the constituency level. The other prayers that Rigathi took to court, or rather poking holes on that impeachment so that it can be stopped, so that it will get injunction for the legislature, for the parliament to stop that impeachment, all of them have not been granted. And that is a worrying call to the deputy president, because it's a signal that probably he's not getting friendly, or rather the judiciary is not very friendly to his impeachment. You know, sometimes you need the friendliness. However, I asked a lawyer about this, a very good subscriber, and there is something that he told me that I can explain to you, Advocate Wala. So Wala told me that these lower courts are refraining from, of course that was his also opinion as a lawyer, they are refraining from this case because if the impeachment continues and it reaches to the Supreme Court, there will be a lot of conflicts. And there may be what might have happened is what might happen here is those injunctions that might be given would actually affect this case at Supreme Court. The second issue is also saying is there's been a trend of government maybe not obeying court orders. So on this regarding impeachment, if a court order will be given, the possibility of parliament even disobeying that court order is there. Remember how a judge got, the judge who summoned the police IG, Masengeli, acting IG, really got in hot water because he summoned the police IG. The police IG did not appear in court, and to that end, things did not turn well. And he said even his security details of that Lawrence Mugambi were even withdrawn. Sometimes he says that the deputy president impeachment is a case, is an impeachment that is unique. It has never happened. So you realize that everyone doesn't really want to associate with it, because in law, you really don't need to, you don't know how it would go. And to some extent, it is a state-marshaled impeachment. In the state-marshaled impeachment, sometimes even in the law, even in the courtroom, some judges who really want not to associate because you don't know what, especially the lower courts. And so he mentioned about it, and probably also Rigathi Gachagua might also not be having very good reception in those lower courts. So I'm saying, looking at that, these 5 occurrences that I've done. So that is the first occurrence that we've seen. The second issue that we also pay attention to is the deputy president unleashed lawyers, a battery of 20 lawyers led by Paul Muite, to lead his defense in Senate, or rather in Parliament, if he decides to go for impeachment. And that was on Friday, and I analyzed it here saying, by the fact that he unleashed lawyers to defend him, he was sending a signal to the president and the government team that I am willing to face my demons in Parliament. And that has been my position, even if Rigathi decides to resign. But I think my position is you will go through this process, even though it comes at a high risk. I need to acknowledge that going through that process comes at a high risk. So why am I saying that's another observation that we need to take? Because that was attempt to show that, look here, I am coming, I am not going to resign. So that was also a strategy, because all along, the long shot by President Ruto has been to try to push Rigathi to resign. And he went on rally saying, why should I resign? I was not elected by the people. He was, of course, coming out firm that he's not going to resign. But the third observation is going to give us a different perspective. The deputy president's apology yesterday in Karen. That apology, he apologized to Raila Odinga, he apologized to MPs, he apologized to the president, and he apologized to the people of Kenya. He issued that apology. But those apologies were conditional, like, if I wronged you. Not that when I wronged you. He did not say I've wronged you. He said, if I wronged you in any way. So that is conditional. People who are speech analysts say that. Speech analysts say that. So that apology, he was looking dejected. If you look at the body language Rigathi was talking yesterday, he was weak, he was dejected and shaken. And there was a feeling like he's going to exit the stage. To some end, that he was going to exit the stage. Now that public apology was also showing that probably he's looked at the evidence that has been here and there, and he was trying to say that probably he's playing guilt. And some of people who are even supporting him, I've seen some observers, political observers, saying that it was a blunder for him to apologize. Kenyans want brave people. In fact, Kenyans want brave people. Kenyans want brave people. So I will tell you that how Rigathi should resign. Now, yesterday people felt like even if he wanted to resign, he should not resign with an apology. He should actually give an explosive interview, then resign, if he's going to resign. So that's also another occurrence. The other one is Raila and Ruto's silence, and let me not even Ruto's silence. Let me say Ruto is not silent. Ruto is not silent. Ruto is acting around. Raila's silence on this impeachment, I think, is also something that Rigathi has been tracking. The ODM party forms the backbone of this impeachment. For William Ruto to marshal the 233 MPs to vote out the deputy president, he needs the support of the ODM party. Now, if and when Raila is silent, I'm so sure the deputy president would have really thought, would have really wanted to see probably if Raila Odinga would stand with him. But that silence also is dilemma. Is he with the president or is he supporting me? Are the MPs going to vote independently? it's a bit of that question. The last, and not the least, the last observation or rather occurrence that I'm also looking at and that these advisors are also raising is the 3 affidavits that were sworn by state officers on his impeachment. Allow me to take 2 minutes to explain more on this. The advisors, and on this critical meeting, the deputy president must actually have a keen outlook of this. These affidavits were sworn by, the only 3 affidavits that have leaked are 3. Secretary to the Cabinet, Mercy Wanjau, Nairobi Governor, Mercy Wanjau is accusing the deputy president on the fact that Cabinet passed a resolution or displacement for people who are staying around Nairobi River, but Rigathi went and did not support it when he was attending a rally somewhere, so he contravened, he breached, the oath of secrecy probably of the whole government approach of supporting government agenda. Sakaja is going to accuse Rigathi Gachagua, is accusing Rigathi Gachagua in his affidavit of forestalling or rather inciting traders in Nairobi to turn against or rather to reject the Nairobi County government plan to move them out of Kirigiti Market and go to Kangundo Road, the market of Kangundo Road. And then there is another affidavit by a former chairperson, CEO of KEMSA, Andrew Mulwa, who is going to tell the country about how Rigathi Gachagua wanted the mosquito net tender to be given to a company that is linked to him. Now, these 3 affidavits forms a very big, they form a very good indicator on what's coming ahead of this impeachment. These are just 3 that have leaked. The accusations are 10. So the one question that Rigathi is asking himself, do the movers of this motion have evidence, or they don't have evidence and they're just going to use state machinery? Because if they don't have evidence, then the court stands neutral and serves justice, then they're going to make Rigathi Gachagua survive. But again, how about if they have evidence? William Ruto can access anything on deputy president, everything. Personal phone calls that deputy president made, his bank accounts, or even photos and minutes of meetings held anywhere in this country. Private engagements with private people, friends and anywhere in this country. With the state, they can get all that. And I may be wrong. The plan to impeach Rigathi Gachagua did not start today. It's been a long range. The disdain on the deputy president did not start today, not this year. It might have started, if I'm not wrong, December, just 4 months after they were elected. The time they were appointing the cabinet. It might have started there and then. So while Rigathi Gachagua was in government comfortable and was feeling like we are shareholders and he was immune to this prosecution, he never foresaw a situation where President Ruto will marshal the members of parliament to impeach him. I may be wrong on that. But that is something that Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua did not see coming. So there is a high likelihood that he's also in a situation, he's in some area, he's in some situation that he didn't preempt, he didn't foresee coming. So these 3 affidavits also show a signal. How many other affidavits do government have against him? How many? Quite a number. So that in that one, I was just showing you some things that have happened, and there have been attempts. I want to add here, attempt by religious members, religious leaders to reconcile the two leaders, and it has failed. In fact, there is something I've realized about the Deputy President. Deputy President William Ruto is not reconciliatory. Yes, he's not. He's not reconciliatory because the fallout with Uhuru Kenyatta, there was an attempt by different people, it didn't work. And then this one, also with Rigathi Gachagua, there've been attempt to reconcile. It's not working. So surely, with it now, I know most of you are waiting to look at what will happen. What Rigathi Gachagua will decide, the decision by Rigathi Gachagua that is going to tell the country, that is telling the country now, the decision depends on these 4 factors, solid factors. Whether he resigns or goes through the impeachment, and it will depend on this. You can work this. I can tell you, you can bank on what I'm going to show you here. And after that press briefing, we'll come back and analyze, and we'll try to take, if he's made a decision to resign, or if he's made a decision for impeachment, that decision shall have been based on these 4 factors. Kindly help us take Juliet to Murang'a University. Yes, so we are running that. So I just want to remind you, we are running that. Yeah, we are running a deficit, and I believe that we can achieve to take that girl to university. Send me anything you have. Any amount will be appreciated as we try to fill that deficit. 4 factors. Rigathi will have to look at the possibility of getting 63 members out of those 291 to withdraw their support from that impeachment. You really want that. You must assess that possibility. And only 63 in the sense that Parliament have 349. Now I think the others now they're 344. For the movers of impeachment, he would need all the 58 that never voted, that opposed that impeachment, including Ndindi Nyoro, to keep off. Then after those 54, he adds another 63 so that he can have 117 out of the 244. He needs 117 MPs to support him. Then that motion will collapse. But there is no guarantee that even those 58 that didn't sign will still hold their position. Out of those 58, some might change their position and support that motion. So that is also another factor. That is a factor. If you look at since Tuesday to now Monday, for this 1 week, a number of MPs that have moved publicly, that have said they're against the motion publicly, are less than 15. So you can see that the hypocrites in Parliament, the position is very predictable. So this factor will form the basis of his decision. The second issue is the potency of his remaining years of tenure. There have been a question of, yes, even if you survive, you will not be picked as the running mate in 2027. That is decided. I think William Ruto has decided that. It's not a secret. That now has been decided. How are we going to work with the president between now to 2027? How? How will that tenure be? Will you be an isolated deputy president outside, just withdrawing salary and using state resources without working? And by the time you will make the exit, probably when you are dropped as the running mate, and William Ruto picks someone else, will you be able to marshal a political mass around you and even seek a coalition or seek an elective office? A governor cannot seek a governor. The post the deputy president can go for his president. Will he be able to fold and seek presidency? So he will also, before he decides, yes, I want to survive, I want to remain, how will my term be? Number 3, the other decision, the other thing that Rigathi is making a decision on, intelligence. You need to find out, is Ruto moved by this public participation? I can tell you that I can answer, DP. Ruto is not moved. And Rigathi knows this, that President Ruto is not moved by what the people are saying. We are not shocked. The people said, we don't want housing levy. It was forced down people's throat. The university students, even Ruto held town hall meetings with them. The stakeholders in the education sector said education funding model is not working. He forced it. The country is talking about Adani, that Adani deal is not giving us. Is not at the interest of the country. He's forcing it. Now, even if public participation, the members of public are saying kufa derefa kuva makanga, Ruto have a tendency, and that is a mantra, that is his style probably, of being right, Mr. Right, and having monopoly of the idea. And to him he thinks, and he knows, sending Rigathi home is the best thing, is the right thing. So, Rigathi will also have intelligence, because if Ruto is moved by what the Kenyan people are saying, especially even the voting constituency, vote from Rift Valley and Mount Kenya, he might have to seek truth. And lastly, Rigathi will have to answer a question. Is he willing to end his political career now with this impeachment, or he will still think of seeking presidency sometime in future? Because the impeachment has a potential of ending his political career. If he's impeached, he's not going to vie anyway in the next 10 years. For those 10 years, by the time he'll be coming back in 2032, it will be too late. And he cannot, and remember another thing, Rigathi cannot be able to sustain a political onslaught against Ruto for 10 years. The only person that can manage that is Raila Odinga. That's the only politician that has managed. If you look at Ruto is 10 years, and 5 years Ruto. It's been 10 years. Uhuru, the only person that has managed that is Raila Odinga. I don't think Rigathi have all that. Have a big political mass around him. The political mass around the deputy president is volatile. It's very shaky. Ni wale emotions. It's not based on principle. And lastly, we will also have to assess whether the impeachment is going to be emotionally and financially draining. If you lose that case, you pay the lawyers, you do that, you bribe so. It might also be politically draining, and you can use that money for other things. And will the state go after his properties? Sometimes you look at it and you say, maybe I leave. If he's going to make an exit, then he should not make a low-key exit. He should just make an explosive exit. You leave with your head high, and say, this is it. But if he decides to go through the impeachment, which I believe should be the best option for him, because if he's to resign, you know what he's supposed to do? He's supposed to write a resignation letter to State House. Then Ruto approves that resignation letter, then he announces. But I know he has not done that, because if you also do that, the moment you send that letter to State House, Itumbis will leak it to the country before even yourself you make the pronouncement. So your resignation will not hold any media attention, because it shall already have been leaked from the State House. So, but he has an option of resigning, announcing resignation, then sending a letter to the president, even through email, saying he's resigning, so that himself he owns it up. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Thank you. So I'm leaving you with a video of our girl Juliet explaining really the situation why she had not reported to school. Thank you. Niko salama, eh?
Niko salama.
Now, I was told your case that you're supposed to go to school on 27th of August. What happened?
kitu ilifanyika, babangu hakuwa na pesa, hawana kazi ya kufanya, ni wakulima tu wa kawaida. Na kwa hizo siku ambazo nilikuwa nafaa kujoin August 27th, by the course of the 2 weeks before that date, sistangu alikufa. Na sasa everything changed, tukaanza kuplan about the mazishi. Na sasa tukimaliza, wenye walimpromise watanipeleka shule walisema tusha kusaidia kwa mazishi, hawezi kunisaidia kwa ni kujoin kwangu. So tukasema hiyo ishapita hivyo. Sasa siwezi kwenda shule mpaka siku yenye Mungu atajua.
Sasa mimi nikiambiwa, now he's taken me to Kiswahili. Yule ambaye aliniambia issue yake ni basa wao, Nicholas Ogala, ambao is our subscriber here. So Nicholas aliniambia kwamba alikutafuta akiwa kwamba anaambiwa kwamba ulikuwa umepita na uko ulikuwa unapata grade gani?
B plain.
Wow. Congratulations guys. B plain. Na alifanya fanya agricultural engineering. Wow. So Juliet alifaa kujoin Murang'a University kufanya agricultural engineering, lakini ikawa kwamba haikuwa inawezekana, na umedhibitisha kwamba unafaa. Niliambiwa kwamba ikiwezekana unafaa uende on Tuesday.
Yeah, on Tuesday.
On Tuesday. Yeah, so guys, that is it. Anafaa join on Tuesday, and the hostel you didn't get. That's what we confirmed. It's Elisha. So ile nyumba they mentioned is around 5,000. Inaweza ishi. So apart from the house, our plan is if you get the house, that house that goes at 5,000, hiyo ndio karibu na university. For first year lazima uishi karibu na university. Now, so we are looking for around 50,000, number one, to pay 10 months for that house, kwa sababu atakuwa anaanza kuishi nje. We believe that by that time pia other factors shall have come into play, and hata nimeuliza wale ambao wako hapa kwamba you can also sponsor Juliet. I believe it's also going to be very possible. Then apart from that, ile bandu mweko wanataka 20,000 for fees.
Yeah, 20,000.
So what we need is the 50,000 at least to pay 10 months rent for Juliet. You're going to pay 20,000 for the band, your fees. You've applied the others?
Yeah, scholarship.
Yeah,
na
help.
Scholarship peke yake.
Na scholarship peke yake. So after that, is in a band where I think 20,000 is what is needed. Then what else will remain is the requirements and maybe some pocket money.